Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my fellow Liberians. Good morning, everyone. I decided to do something different. Mind me, I have olive oil on my forehead. Got done praying this morning. I'm going for a new look. It's coming in there. It's coming in there. My PSA that I want to share, my public service announcement that I want to share with my fellow Liberians. First and foremost, I want to thank my Liberians, Mama Liberia, for accepting us back into the motherland on February 6th in 1822, 1820. That's where it all began. Some people like to say where it's founded. I do not like to use that term founded because the simple fact is, how can you found something? It's just my opinion. I know it's a dictionary term where they say you can use it interchangeably, but I don't feel that. I think it's a sense of stealing, in a sense, if you will. Instead of them saying came together. Yeah, true enough. The Americans, the free slaves came there. They helped us. That's the better term. They helped establish what is known today as Liberia. But anyway, if it had not been for the people of Liberia, none of it would have been able to transform to what it is today. So shout out to Mama Liberia. I thank you for all that you're doing and you're striving to do. We just hope and pray that we get those that's there that has been afforded the opportunity to take Mama Liberia forward, that they really seek God and really lean to have an ear to listen to what he's saying to help the country move forward. Um, I was just thinking this morning and I decided to come on here and please share this. Please share this with your fellow Liberians and other that's out there, because if anybody know me, they know that I have a heart for Liberia. That's Liberian. Um, I have invested heavily in Liberia. Married to a Liberian. We have 4 beautiful children. Um, and when I went to Liberia for the first time, had an awesome experience. Um, the beauty, the tranquility, the land. It reminded me so much of the farmland that I grew up on in Mississippi, that it just shocked me, man, how much we do have so much in common. Um, the beauty, the culture of the people, uh, the transpiring. Be quiet, Nico. Sorry about that, but be quiet. Who is that? Okay, my son in the background. Sorry for that. I'm saying so much beauty in the back, that we share a lot of things, um, especially when I took my wife to where I grew up at. She got a chance to see um, over 100 acres of land that we grew up on, that my grandfather owned as family land. Um, but needless to say, it's we share a lot of things in common. More then we all can say a no. And I'm just going to give you my snippet of what I believe, the pain that we share, that it is rooted deep and it came by the hand of the enemy. And this is the public service announcement. Why is it that we cannot work with each other? Why is there so much distrust amongst our people that will believe foreigners like they can save us? Why is that? Where did it come from? And more importantly, how do we get rid of it? Seriously, how do we get rid of this stigmatism of not being able to trust and work with our very own? How can Mama Liberia move forward when we are suffering from this problem? Well, someone say, well, why do I say that? Well, the reason why I say that is that just try to send money back to Liberia and tell someone you need this to get done. Now, somebody may not experience what we experienced, but I know a lot of people that's in the same boat as me that have been in the same similar situations where you have come to an agreement, whether it be family, close friend, associate, someone have recommended you to. 9 times out of 10, it ends up bad. And it caused a sense of distrust. Not being able to rely on your fellow man to help you to build, help you accomplish what are you trying to do. And it's a sad situation. And I always told my wife this because, I grew up in Chicago too. I was born in Chicago. So I saw a lot of the inner city crime and how we just had this, how can I describe it? This defensive mechanism where you're always on edge. You're always looking around your shoulder because anything can pop off. If you know about Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, New York, Los Angeles, major metropolitan cities that's out there, with a heavy urban uh, crime base that's heavily populated out there, you just know. It gives you that feel, you always that way. And why is it that we have to be that way with our people? Why is it that we can't come together, that we can't truly work to build with each other? Then why is it that the jealousy is so strong? Oh, this person think I would help them, they would uh, use me and this, that, and the third. No, it's a negotiation. We sit down, we talk about how much is this going to cost, how much you're going to charge me. We come to an agreement. And I'm old school. If we sit down and we negotiate, and I tell everybody this, anybody I get in business with, that, I still suffer from that type of mentality that I learned from Chicago. If you say that we come into agreement that this is what we're going to do, and we agree to it, and I pay you, and you don't do it, then that's a problem. It's a very big problem. And where I'm from, we don't call the cops. We don't call the cops. This is what I have seen, which I was groomed into. You don't call the cops. You deal with it on your own. But and that still wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good because the outcome was very detrimental in a lot of cases, because now you're hurting this person because this person got a family, and you know, when does the cycle ends? When does that cycle end, and where does the honor begins? To go back to the basics of honoring and doing what you say you would do. The first thing, my fellow Liberians that's there on the ground, if you have someone that's in the diaspora and they're trying to do a project and they sit down and they negotiate with you about what they're looking for and what you can deliver, do not, I beg you, do not think in your mind that, oh, my day has come on, I've hit my lick. And the first thing you're thinking about before the project gets done or even gets started is how you're going to steal. How are you going to steal from that person? And mind you, let's be clear, for those that do not know, for those that do not know, God exists and God uses people. God uses people to get his point across, to bring whatever thing that you need to come to pass. When you look in the Bible, God has always used man to deliver a message, to bless, to do all. God is God. He can show up, use an angel, do all that, right? But for the most part, God has always used man. And this is true. So, and just to carry out on tangent, it's just like this one um, couple that we was helping, me and my wife, we was helping. We didn't know them from Adam. We did not know them from Adam. And we helped them for 3 years. For 3 years. You see my Experience Liberia cup? Experience Liberia, yeah. We helped this couple for 3 years, right? And how we came about meeting this couple was through my mother-in-law, and they was watching her home, her house that she guys built there, right? So the young gentleman, he's about to be sacrificed. He was doing some work, he did something, and he ended up getting away. But during the midst of him escaping, he ended up cutting his leg, and he was in the bush for like 3 days until he finally made it back. And so when he got back, he was in the house and he needed medical attention because the infection that was in his body. So when we heard about his story, we said, you know what? My wife said, well, let's help him, you know. And so that's how we began the friendship, right? Mutual agreement. And I'm not going to call in names, but when this happened, a friendship began, and we started talking to them more. And so we just asked them, hey, because our house needed to be finished. Because like anything, you got to find the right people who do the right job. And it took 10 years for our house to get done. So just and that's a long story. It's about finding the right people, because you can use family and the same 6 and 7 can happen. But anyway, we end up using them to oversee the project. And for the most part, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And then later on down the line, uh, things just started to turn. And I don't know why when you start or when they start seeing money, they just start doing their own thing. And this is what I told my wife: poverty will make you steal, poverty will make you do the things that they do. I've seen it. I just about seen it my whole life in the city. A lot of people are making decisions because they feel that there is no choice. Ultimately, there is no choice. And when you have to be able to look at their situation. And so I empathize with that. Not saying that I would make that choice in some cases, but you never know. Pressure bust pipes. When you put in a situation, you're just going to do certain things. You know, morals come out the window, especially if you're a mother. Especially if you're a mother and you have children to feed and you're out there, I can understand some of the choices that they make. Stealing, selling their bodies, you know, hey, when you put in a situation, you just do certain things. So I don't try to judge people on that basis. But getting back to uh, the thing is working together. And that's the moral of the story, working together. We have to stop. We have to stop it because your blessing is on the other side. Your blessing is on the other side. By working with someone in the diaspora and you're doing a good job, and I would like to think that if you're doing well for that person will look out or should look out for you. I know that me and my wife, that's what we would do. And we tell people all the time, hey, what do you need? What do you need help with? Where our hand can reach, our hand will reach. If we don't have it. We don't try, but we try to be honest and to make things happen. And like for the most part, and I tell them all the time, have we ever lied to you? No. So, where you stand with us. We try to be honest, we try to be open, and we try to help best we can. Um, but we have to change our mindset on both sides. On both sides, we have to change our mindset. We have to find a common ground and to work together to best build Africa, not just Liberia as a whole, but Africa. And this is another thing. Somebody, please help me to understand. Well, I already understand. Let me say this first and foremost. I served in the military for 24 years in the United States Army, and I have traveled to quite a few countries. And the protocol does not change. As a host nation, when you go to that nation, that country, there's protocols, what you must adhere to and what you must follow while you're there because you are a guest. Let me repeat it again. You are a guest. Regardless of what mission or whatever agreement you came to do, you are a guest. And if you violate the laws and the agreements that has been made, then whatever you have is null and void what you're supposed to be doing, right? Now, where am I going with this, Ken? I'm going here. How is it that the Lebanese, the Chinese, and Indians and other people that come to Liberia is allowed to mistreat the people of Liberia? and justice not be served. Last time I checked, Liberia is the host nation. There's the host country. So if they are the host country and you are doing things that is illegal, immoral, violation, you need to be dealt with. You need to be dealt with. Just like I think she was the minister of tourism, the lady, and she found the Chinese restaurant operating in the capacity and the fashion that it was. That's terrible. That's terrible. Now, a lot of people are gonna get mad at this, and a lot of Liberians are gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyhow. I call a spade, and I walk it and I talk it how it is, because nobody is above criticism if he's done in the proper manner, in the proper context. Let me repeat: nobody is above criticism as long as it is done in the proper manner, in the proper context. So that's a little jewel. That's a little nugget. You can criticize. You can critique. Constructive criticism. Did you hear what I said? You can criticize and you can critique with constructive criticism, right? Now, a lot of people are not going to like this for some librarians, but that's okay. The truth hurts anyway, but you need to hear this. I blame you, Liberia. I blame you and those that are in charge because, and let me use this uh, 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 to make people understand. You do not invite anybody in your house and allow them to disrupt your house or disrespect your house. First and foremost, they're going to come in and they're going to see how you're treating your things. How well are you maintaining your home? How well are you treating your home? And if you're not doing it, you can't expect them to do it. Well, someone said, well, how is that correlating? If you're not treating the people right, people, your fellow citizens, right? Why should the Lebanese, the Chinese, and the Indians and other foreigners treat the people of Liberia right when they see that you're not treating them right? You understand? So I blame you, Liberia, the Minister of Health, the Minister of whoever that should have been in charge, because one, I don't know how it operates, but I'm pretty sure it should be something similar. It should have been an inspection, a public health inspection done, more than one. Then when they bought the place, somebody should have came in and made sure that the building and everything was up to code. And if it wasn't up to code, it shouldn't have opened. Only, only in our community do we tolerate the disrespect, the where we disrespected the most. I, for one, do not like it. Even when I was there, I almost got into it with some Lebanese people when I went down to free market because we used to have a business and I bought rice, got into it with them. The man threw money, the Lebanese man threw money to the Liberian gentleman who was buying rice. And I myself, when I saw that, when it was my turn to step up to the booth, I threw my money at him. I sure did. Was I wrong? I'm just petty like that, you know. But no, you're not gonna disrespect my brother. Even if he don't stand up and say anything, open his mouth, I am. Because when you don't open up your mouth and say anything, you're complacent, and they feel that you agree with it. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. And while I am there and I see any misjustice or anything wrong, I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm going to say something. Will it get me in trouble? I don't know. I don't care, but wrong is wrong and right is right. But that shows the level of how they really feel about you. This is serious. This is a serious thing. If you do not learn to control the basis of how you are respected in your country by those that are coming in, that sets the tone. That sets the tone. It sets the mark. Okay, yeah, we're here to do a business agreement, but you will not disrespect the natives that's here, the indigenous to this land, the Liberian people. First and foremost, you will respect them. You are a guest. You are a guest. You are a guest. And then when you look at it, you came because of the opportunity. So regardless of what you brought or what you're bringing, you could not have made the money and put yourself in power today if it had not been for the Liberian people. So don't think that you're above that. They easily could have said no. And where would you been? You've been stuck in Lebanon, you're stuck where you at in your country that's messed up. Because if you were that big and bad, you'd have stayed where you were and became successful in where you at. Now I understand this is business opportunity, but at some point you still need to respect the people. You need to respect the people. Why would you come to a place and open up a restaurant and cook in an environment like that and then feed the people? That goes that the fellow Liberians, those that are in charge, you drop the ball. And it goes that you don't care about the Liberian people. Because you can say, oh, I'm Liberian, I'm Liberian, I'm Liberian. But here's the thing. It's not just being Liberian. Do you love Liberia? Do you love Liberia? Do you love your Liberians? And if you do, you wouldn't allow such things to be tolerated. You wouldn't allow your people to be subjected to that type of behavior, that type of mistreatment, that type of malpractice, if I can use that. I know most malpractice is in medicine, but still, it's a medical, food science, medical, what have you. You know the terms I'm trying to use. But anyway, anyhow, it's only in our culture. It's only in our space that we have to be subjected to things of that nature. Now, honestly, ask yourself, if that was a Liberian, or even if that was me, an African over in that country operating like that, would I be allowed to go around and still work with immunity or be there with immunity? First and foremost, that would be a major headline. It would be heads will roll. They would come through and they would put our country to shame. We have to learn to, we have to, Liberia, and Africans across the diaspora, because we're all Africans. We are. When you look at it, we're all Africans. And when we left and those slaves that got taken, we just lost our culture, but we are Africans. Africans were the first one on the planet. And this is a scientific fact. You can't get uh, black from white, but you can get white from black. It's a scientific fact. So we was here first on this planet. We just lost our way, but we're all Africans, brothers and sisters, whether we in Asia, the Caribbean, the Pacific Islands, It doesn't matter. We're still Africans. Now we have to learn to come together, to put our differences aside and understand what the enemy is doing and how can we curtail and combat this tyranny, the disrespect, the lack of infrastructure. Seriously, these crazy deals that's going on that they are holding our natural resources at bay. There's no way. When I look across the continent of Africa and I look and I see these things, I'll be like, who is making these deals? How is it that these people can come here, take the resources out, and not really contribute to the country? And this is not specifically Liberia, this is Africa as a whole. How is it that you're taking the resources, but yet and still, there's no better schools, there's no jobs? Have the people know, if you want my resources, then you're going to employ 80% is going to be Liberian. And you're not going to sign no 100-year deal. It's going to be 20. Because by that time, that's what it's going to take for the people to really truly master and what it needs to be mastered. Then after that, you negotiate. And then you can come up out of there and my people can run it. Now they have the skills. Now, instead of us depending on you, you're depending on us. How much you want to buy? Okay, we can run that. We manufacturing, we're producing for ourselves. It's about how bad do you love Liberia? How do you love it? How do you love Liberia? What are we doing? I'm all ears. I don't have a problem. I am looking for people that really means business, that really wants to improve Liberia. I really am. We have a home there. So my wife would tell you, I would have been left America had it not been for our youngest and my parents that's here, that's going through that sickly. I'd have been left. They look at me like, wow, you go? Yeah. Because Liberia, it's funny. When you're in something, you cannot see the full potential and the value of it. It's just like yourself. People around you can see the talent that you possess and what you're capable of, but you. That's why, have you noticed that? People can see things in you that you don't even see in yourself. And so I see that within Liberia and many others. It's just for those that's there, that's already on ground to connect with us and help, because we all want the same thing or should want the same thing. You know, who don't want better health care? Who don't want better education? Who don't want a thriving economy? Who don't want a financially stable and a military strong country? Who don't want that? So we want the same thing. We just got to figure out how to get it. And my theory is you got to start with your community. You have to start with your community. I mean, somebody may differ, but it starts there. The politicians are going to be politicians. And that's another can of worms that I can get into and dive into, but I'm not, because at the end of the day, I mean, I really don't have a dog in that fight, because they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to tell you and they're going to say what you need to hear in order to get elected. And I say this to them, not just because don't say, "Oh, I'm Liberian," but do you love Liberia? And if you love Liberia, then your actions will show it. Your actions will show it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to stop. You cannot travel in and out of the country and go and see other countries that's developed, and you do not have no idea of how to bring forth that what you see to your country. And this is no knock and no shot at anyone. It's just, it is what it is. How much do you love Liberia? That's the question. And that's what y'all need to be asking them. Those. That's the new mantra. Hey, please, that's the new motto. How much do you love Liberia? Just don't say, "Oh, I'm Liberian." No. How much do you love Liberia? How much are you doing to help transform Liberia for the better? Free education. How much do you love Liberia? The children are the future, and education is key, whether it be learning trade, whether it be school of thought, with a major degree behind you, but education is key. Being able to comprehend the information, understand the information, and to use it in a positive capacity for the betterment of the country is what's going to strive and what's going to take Liberia forward. And it cannot be done when the economy is not where it should be, where it is bringing forth jobs for the people to be able to afford to send their children to school. Do you know, and I'm pretty sure you do, that if you do not fix that problem, that is going to become a problem? It's going to become a serious problem. So um, we just have to get better. Like I said, I'm here. Me and my wife, we're here. I reach out. I am connected to a lot of different channels that's over there, and I try to support best I can to a lot of people. I want to really build. I want to be able to help in any kind of way because we have been at the bottom for so long, and it's time for us to rise up. It really is. It is time for us to rise and to show that we're no longer relying on the West to determine, to dictate of who we are. That's just me. That's just me. We can work together, but don't think that you're smarter than me. And that's what we got to tell ourselves. Think, man, look, the knowledge is there if you want it. You go and get it. And I said this several times on many people, different platforms. Study your enemy. They have not changed up their playbook. They have not changed their tactics. You know why they have not changed up their tactics? Because we have not challenged them on their tactics. They do the same thing. They cause division. They cause us to distrust each other. They put one above the other. Give one an opportunity and not giving the other. It's the divide and conquer. If we can control that and discontinue that thought process, We're halfway there. We are halfway there because we're stronger together. We are stronger together. We are. We are stronger together. And that's what they fear. This is what they fear. You can still be who you are. You still can be a Liberian. You still can be an African American, and connect. And connect. We can connect and we can build. We can. They don't want it. They don't want to see it. They know that we're too dangerous. They know. But you gotta have the mindset. You gotta have the mindset. You gotta be willing. You gotta have the mindset and gotta be willing. Almost to the point where you damn near have to be vulnerable to a sense. To a sense, you have to be, you know. Um, it's just we gotta hold them accountable. We really do. We gotta start over and reset the page. And I think that um, the Africans in the diaspora, those that have been lost, need to connect. They need to come back. And those who left from Africa, fleeing for a better place, once you get the opportunity and you have seized that moment, go back. We got to go back. We got to go back. Now, I ain't saying that everybody ought to leave somewhere and just leave America and stay. I am when an opportunity arises and permit me to. I'm gone. America has nothing to offer me. It doesn't. Because of the simple fact is that she is too far gone and she is not going to change. And the politicians that we have don't care. They say it does, and it doesn't. And that's why I say you have to wake up and be smart. You have to wake up and be smart. When you look around and you see what we go through on a day-to-day basis, you're not dealing with that in Africa. Let's just be clear. You're not. You had the opportunity to make money to do that, but that's not everything. That is that peace of mind, to be stress-free, and I thank God that He has allowed me to do what I needed to do and be where I'm at today. I am blessed. I must say I am blessed. I have escaped death so many times that the enemy wanted to take me out, whether it was in my youth, while I was in the military. God has covered me and allowed me to retire at an early age and to be able to have property in Africa, to be able to have traveled the world. I'm blessed. And I'm ready to come and to leave America and to be part of something great. Because Africa is the new America. Africa is the new America. It is. We just have to come together. We have to come together. We really do. And they don't want it. They don't want it. We have to start looking at being, let me say this, use some military tactics that was given, right? We go in here. We have to learn to be Liberia must learn to be proactive instead of reactive. Did you hear what I said? Proactive instead of reactive. And that's the problem. A lot of it, and this is dealing with a lot of countries, and mainly and more so in our culture, period. We are always on the reactive side of the house instead of proactive. So, what do you mean? Okay. If you know that rainy season is coming, right? You're going to prepare, right? You're going to do the things that you need to be prepared for when rainy season comes. You mean you're going to have so rainy season be like our winter time. So you in America, right? So before the rain hit, we're going to make sure that we got enough crops, enough things that we need, necessities, resources, all of these things are put into place before the rainy season comes. That's what it means to be proactive, because you never know. And that same tool applies in everyday life. When you get up in the morning, you're proactive. You already got your clothes laid out, or you should have everything in order. If God bless you to get up in the morning, and it's less time consuming because you already know, right? You have a plan, so you're proactive in the things that you're trying to do and what you want to implement, and how you want to see them those goals be accomplished. You have to be proactive in the things that's going to propel Liberia to the future. And I like the simple fact that a lot of people are coming back from the diaspora. I mean, I watched and follow so many. Um, Helena's Kingdom, awesome, awesome, beautiful YouTuber that left, gave it all up, and came back to the motherland and doing well. Kudos and shout out to you. Zawardi M, We Move, is doing her thing. And I comment on her channel from time to time. Liberia to the world. Those brothers are doing it. Showcase uh, Liberia. I've watched her channel, support her channel. Then you got my girl Delisha Life and Travel. Awesome. Pizzo, Life with Aura, who's been a mentor that's been helping me, who I reached out to. Beautiful. We're not that far from each other. Beautiful, awesome. She has been so awesome in helping me. And that's where it should be. She's taking the time. She's retired, and I'm jealous because she's getting ready to go home and be in Liberia. She says she's going to go and get things ready for us, so we can come and fellowship and break bread. So, but it's just so many that's there, that's doing things that I watch. I watch the channel, Real Zolaric. Excuse me if I'm butchering the name. Uh, Lorraine. Uh, who else? Uh, True Liberia. County Diaries. I mean, all these guys. I'm seeing this stuff, and this is the future. She speaks to just doing and forgive me if I have not mentioned your show, but trust me, my wife can attest. I just about got everybody that's there that's doing something I am subscribed to, or I watch the channel. But you guys are the future. You guys, we're it. We're it. And bridging that gap, and preparing and trying to get people to want to come back, that want to be involved, that want to make a difference, to help build a better Liberia, better Africa. You know, um, like I said, I wanted to do something different. It's just my little public service announcement to Liberia is that there's a lot of things that needs to be done, and I'm not one to just point out stuff and not have a solution or come, my military background. No, you better have a solution. What is the solution to that problem? You know, and we have a lot of things to give. And this is no means of trying to be disrespectful for those that's there on the ground. There's no means in being disrespectful. It's just us to show our love, the love that we love and care about Mama Liberia, and we want to see it go forward and not backwards. It's 2023. How is it that we don't have a better phone service in Liberia besides Orange and Lone Star? Yeah, it's great, but can it be better? Can it be better? Can it be AT&T? Can it be a Sprint? Can it be a major brand? I mean, why is it that you're chewing up data? You understand? Why is it that if you don't use your phone, your data in a timely manner, that it's gone? Why is that? It's 2023. You're trying to tell me y'all can't have nothing, we can't get nothing better? Hey, my Liberian people, we can't get nothing better? And these just questions. I mean, come on. I bought it. I'm subscribed to it, but yet and still, it shouldn't take the fact for somebody else major to come in to develop this and give it to the Liberian people. We should be able to come together, to put our resources together and create that for our people. We should be able to. It should be a monthly bill. It should be a monthly bill. And some people say, no, you pay as you go. And all. Okay, even if you pay as you go, the service should be better than that. Even if I don't use up my minutes should roll over. The minutes on my phone should roll over. Is it your business if I don't use up my data? All you want is the money to reinforce data. So what program do you have where you're eating data? Seriously? Who does that? And getting back to what I was saying about the disrespect with the Lebanese and all that. And this is the bone that I have to pick with the authorities that's there. Like I said, I've had a business before. Nobody tells you to buy the products that you put on your shelf, especially if you're getting something. You can do a survey, you get what you think what the people might need, right? Then you go back and you do your analysis of what sold the most, what didn't sell. And so that's what you're in the business of making money. You're not in the business of losing money. So if you get a product that wasn't popular, and who knows, just because it wasn't popular at that point in time in season, don't mean that it doesn't come back and you don't use it, but you don't get rid of it, right? You get some that you know that you can push. So when it's time, you're able to scale your operation up for that product, right? So make a long story short, we went down to Freeport to try to buy rice. One of our workers that we had at the time, she went to go try to purchase rice. They told her that in order for her to get that amount of rice, she had to buy a biscuit. Who does that? Really, seriously, who does that? I come to buy the specific product And you're going to tell me in order to get this product, I have to buy so many quantities of biscuits. Really? Because your biscuit's not selling, are you going to force me to buy? No, what you do is if your product is not moving on your shelf, then you discount it. You sell it for half the value. Least you can recoup your money or some part of your money back. But you do not force the people to buy a product, one, that they probably have never used, two, don't like, and three, never wanted it in the beginning. So that's a waste of money on them. You understand? You see this? Only, how can I say it? Do these people work with immunity? How is that possible? And you say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you, I had to buy it. I reached out to someone that was working at the paper. They said they was going to go down there and do a story. Never got anything back because of simple fact, prideful pushback. But had I been there, they wouldn't have made me buy that shit. I wouldn't have bought it. Because that's not how business works. That's not how business works. You have to educate the people. And you have to be, not to say, no, let me take that back. It's not about educating the people on that. It's just common sense. You don't force nobody to buy something that they don't want and don't need. That is a waste of money. That money that went and buy those things, and if it's still being done, it could be used for a different purpose. But where are those that are supposed to be protecting the people of Liberia against this type of behavior? Where is this at? Where's the protection for the people? You understand? So I'm just here. I was up early and had my cup of coffee. Still got a lot to do. Still got to go out here and plant in this garden. Um, we plan on doing a whole lot more. We plan on trying to build and actually connect with those that have been in the diaspora and those that have a mindset on ground that really wants to do some things. We're the type of people when we get involved with something, it's not uh, about trying to use people. That's not our nature. That's not our way. We have not been raised that way. I know I haven't. I have not been raised that way. So it's about Liberia benefiting from what we can offer and what we would like to see done for our fellow man. Our fellow man. Um, I tell you, I tell you. This is some things that that really it baffles me. When I was there, true story. When I was in Liberia, I wasn't there long. Probably the third day, because we have a car. We sent that car over there to get fixed. And the third day, I was driving around the city, driving. This is that military background, man. You gotta jump in. You gotta jump in, and you gotta be a part of what's going on in order for you to get the full acclimation of how things work. And I was driving around, and this is no knock, but Liberia, let me say this. Politics is not the only solution to make money or to become something. Selling clothes and all that stuff is not the only way. Sometimes your jewels and your success to become a millionaire is in the rubbish. It is in the rubbish. It is in the things that people do not want, the things that people look down upon. That's where the treasure at. I'm telling you, and I'm saying it again. That is where the treasure, the least road travel, is where you're going to find your greatest success. You better hear me. Your least road travel is where you're going to find your greatest success. You should be trying to travel down the same road where everybody's going anyway. Broad is the way and narrow is the gate. Let me say that again. Broad is the way and narrow is the gate. Let me say this. I wish I had millions of dollars. You know what I'd invest in? I would invest in the trash. I would be in garbage. I would invest heavily in that. What? Yes. Nobody's competing. Nobody's competing for that. That is an open door. Recycling. That's diamonds right there. Taking the trash and recycling it and making a viable product out of it and selling it back into the market. Wake up, Liberia. Wake up, those that sitting in office. Let me say this again. To invest heavily in the trash and recycle it and make a viable product out of it and sell it back into the market, to put it back into society, into the world. I'm going to say it once again. Invest heavily into the trash, recycle it, turn it into a viable product, and sell it back into the market. You're going to employ the fellow Liberians with the jobs, collecting the garbage, recycling center, the production plant. Now you're selling that product into the market. You got a product team, a management, advertising team. All of those things come into play. Your trash has just become treasure. Your trash has just become treasure. We overlook the small things. And it's cleaning up your city, you're beautifying your city. Come on. Think about that. How many Zocos is out there that you could employ of cleaning the trash up? Build a place for them to stay, give them their little daily bread, what they have, where they use it to get high or they don't use it to get high. They go, they pick their trash, they got so much they got to pick up and clean up and take to the thing. Okay, you go, you eat, you don't, hey, but there's things in place. So you got to crawl before you walk. When you get the help you need, the help should be there anyway. But anyway, you got to have someone to do that. Cleaning up. That's why everybody can feel a part. Everybody's employed. Somebody's doing something. That is your treasure. That alone can employ thousands upon thousands of people. Think about it. That's 3 entities right there. Collecting trash truck. Then you got your landfill where your trash is there. It's being sorted, right? Out there. Because you got to separate your metals, your batteries, all that stuff. Then it got to go into a recycling center. It has to be broken down. Where the plastic going one place, glass going another place, all that stuff. Then what product are you going to make? You got a production factory, production company. And you're selling, okay, the finished product. Finished product. Come on now. Seriously? It's 2023. It's 2023. It is 2023. And this is no knock. This is just a solution. This is a solution to put people to work, clean up the environment, to give a boost in the economy. It's a win-win. And you go down the Japanese freeway, there used to be Somalia Drive. All of those cars that were sitting out there, and I got it. Those guys had it, and they got it for their business to get spare parts. Come on. Some of that got to go. You need a scrap metal yard. It's an eyesore, and I got it. But you're buying it back from the people. Hey, we're going to buy this. We're going to take it. We're going to scrap this metal. Now you got a scrap metal factory. You're turning that metal into something else, but you're cleaning up. And then you think about the soil erosion that's sitting there from all that stuff. All of those things got to be in place. It got to be lined up. We got to start thinking outside the box. And if you just need help, need help. But it got to be cleaned up. It has to. I know we got to crawl before we walk. But hey, we got to do some things. We got to do some things. We have to do some things. And the drainage. Come on. How hard is it to cover the drains for the sewer line to stop trash from going in? It don't take a rocket scientist to do that. It really doesn't. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do it. And go back to the question, do you love Liberia? When I say, oh, I'm Liberian, I was Liberian. Okay, what good is it to stick together if you're not loving each other? I say it again. What good is it to stick together when you're not loving each other? Think about it. It's crazy. Because I posed this question. Because like I said, I had a youth, I had a past. Like I said, I grew up in Chicago. And I got family members that's been in some serious criminal activity, so jail is inevitable. I've had my stint run in with the law. Jail is inevitable. But trust me, and this is the same, whether you're in jail or you're out of jail, why is it when you get to a place and you don't know anybody, But what do? You go to what looks familiar, right? You go over to a place where, okay, black people sitting over here. Let me go over here and sit close to the black people. It's a sense of community. Why is that, right? So, and this is the question I'm posing. Why is it that, right? Liberians and other people, when you come into a new country, you gravitate, right? Even if you're not full-fledged Liberian, but you go into that community, Togolese, Congo, you over in that area because y'all come from the same country and y'all have similarities, right? The similarities. You can do that, but when it comes to certain issues, y'all can't come together. Help me to make sense of that. Help me to make that make sense. Help me to make sense of that. Why is it that we do that? We gravitate when we feel out of place, and we go and get with something familiar that looks like, okay, so you get some comfort in it. I'm surrounded by people that look like me, just sit in this environment for a certain time, and then I get comfortable, then you migrate, whatever. But it's a known fact, even in prison, right? Just say for prison, for instance, right? When it comes down to it, in most cases, it's about no gang, about you Crips, blood. Yeah, that's still fall. That's a section of it, but it's blacks against the Hispanics, and Hispanics against the blacks. Doesn't matter because you got black Hispanics, white Hispanics. They all rocking. Then you have the Asians. It's separate, and then you got the whites. It's separated. Blacks together, Asians together, Mexicans together, whites together. Why is it? So if you can take that same philosophy and we're all one in a prison setting, why can't we take that same philosophy and do the same thing? Are we not up against that same number? In a sense now, I want you to think about it business wise, economic wise. We're in that same setting. The Asians, they know how to work and make money, but they're sticking with their own. Europeans, Lebanese, all of they're sticking with their own. So why is it that we can't come together and do the same thing? It's just a question. Or we won't put our ego aside or our pride aside to come together. Is that it? Is that it? We won't come together and put our pride aside, ego aside to do those things. We talk, no solutions. So, and some people say, okay, what am I doing? I'm playing my part. I have invested back into Mama Liberia. And I speak to certain people and give them insight on certain things until I can truly be on ground to make changes. Because something is better to be on ground because you know how you want certain things to work and how you need them to be implemented. So it's just a day in the life, man. Day in the life. So when y'all watch this, leave a comment and tell me how best we can push Liberia forward. This is not on a politician scale. This is nothing political. This is serious. This is real serious because uh, how can you say this? It has to go back in order for people to get their hand back into power, right? To really do this, and just hear me out. It has to start with the community. Okay, what do you mean? Okay, when the community start to look out for each other and start doing the things like it used to back in the day, right? If I got a can of beans, you got a can of beans. We work together. If I need to go and plow this field, you're gonna help me plow this field. I'm gonna help you do the things you need to do. We're gonna barter. We're gonna work within the community. So by that time, if everybody on one accord and one agreement, and they're working together in communities, going to the community meetings and actually doing and raising money and fixing problems and solutions for the communities, they will not have to rely on the politician and those that's coming in to do anything for them. By the time uh, election season come around, they come in. Okay, what can you offer us? See, we already did it. We already took care of our roads. So what are you talking about? You know how long we've been reaching and wanting the government to come and do this? We did it ourselves. You see, you know how long we did it? We did it ourselves. So what are you talking? What can you do for us? No, this is what we want. If you want our vote, this is what we want. You hold them in demand, but it starts with the community. We already got a community watch. We already doing it. And I'm not saying that this is not being done, and it hasn't been done. Well, what I'm saying is it has to go back because there's actually if it is being done, there's few that's successful with it. Or I haven't seen it because you still got some of the problems, some of the issues. What do you mean? Okay, because the community working together, why just some that have and some that don't? Uh-huh. What are we doing to raise money? And I'm not saying it's not happening. You see what I'm saying? Some things are being met and some things are not. That's all I'm saying. But as a community, it all is being controlled and taken care of. This is what happened in America when you look up and you have the suburbs, while the white people go, white Europeans, they come together because they work as a community. Then they go down and they move as a unit and they're able to get things done because they fixed some of the local problems that they have. They fixed it. They worked together. They built the community up. Then now the government got to recognize it, or the council got to recognize it. No, no, no. We did this. Y'all did nothing. We did this. Now this is what we demand. This is what we want. If you coming, if you seeking our vote, we want something tangible. And it's hard. I know you're supposed to say, okay, trust me. They made mention of it 1,000 times here of what needs to be happening, and we have to be on one accord. And you go from there. That's how it gets done. That's how it should get done. But it has to start with fixing the common solution in your community problem. The politician's not going to do it. For those widows, for the elderly, you know. But it takes trust. It takes trust. Come together, put your money up, and make things happen. I have ideas. I have ideas. Go to your community elder, chairman, and you talk to them and you work something out. So I'm just here this morning, sharing with you, giving you my little spiel giving you my little spiel. Liberia is a beautiful country, though. It is a beautiful place. It is a beautiful place. I remember there was a time when Liberia was in high demand. Everybody wanted to be a part or affiliated with Liberia back in the day. People left far and wide to come to embrace the Liberian dream, which is called Little America, the American dream. How soon have we forgotten, right? How soon have we forgotten when Liberia was it? Everybody wanted to come. And Liberia extended its hand, opened the doors. Now, Mama Liberia, you would rise, you would come back up. It would come back up on top. But nobody can help you but you. If you're watching this video, leave in a comment, what do you want Liberia to become, and what is your solution to making it happen? That's another thing. When we come up with these things, right? When we say these things and you talk about the problems, what are some of the solutions? Or do you even think about the solutions? And what are you doing to try to get them implemented? So, with that being said, please hit a thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like it. Leave a comment, leave information. We'll try to get back, respond to you. Like I said, we plan on going to Liberia this year. Want to really connect with those that's out here that's giving their all for Liberia on the YouTube platform with blogging, influencers, and what we best can do to help propel Liberia forward. Um, if you like what I did this morning, leave a comment. I started giving you more. It's a lot of things that I would like to dive into. I don't want to really go into nothing like no politics game because that's not me. I'm just here for the betterment and what I see and what I'm trying to leave for my children and what I want them to know, about the country, Liberia, which has embraced me and which is the country of my wife and children. So leave a comment. But until next time, thank you. Be blessed.